In the beginning of the story, we see a boy named Jason who came back to his school after his vacation, where we see his sister Joey and his parents. His father was angry because Jason had damaged his car in an accident during the vacation, but the principal of their school, Rebecca, promises him that she will take good care of his kids, after which we see Sister Sophia, who was going to work as a teacher in their school. And when Rebecca was showing her their school, Sophia looks at Jason and she likes him at first sight. After that, Rebecca shows Sophia her room, and as soon as she leaves, Sophia takes a sigh of relief, and we see that her actions were like a nun. On the other hand, we see that Jason was very famous due to his singing, and Sophia also starts watching Jason's video and becomes crazy about him. When Jason was sitting outside and singing, Sophia comes to him and starts praising him. After which, when a girl named Sarah in the class starts flirting with Jason, Sophia interrupts them. She doesn't like this at all, so she changes Sarah's sitting place. Here all the children say their prayers before starting their studies, but Zoe notices that Sophia was not saying the prayer, and she finds this thing strange. But when she tells this to Jason, he doesn't pay attention to it because he was busy texting Sarah. And when Zoe tells him to stay away from Sarah, Jason starts arguing with her and leaves from there. Then Sophia comes to him and apologizes to him for her behavior in the class today, and says that if you need anything, then tell me, and Jason also finds this thing a bit strange. Next day, Sarah comes to Jason and praises him that one day you will become a big star, and starts kissing him. Then Sophia comes there, where first she asks Jason to leave from there, and then scolds Sarah and asks her to stay away from Jason. Today, after the class was over, when all the students were leaving, Sophia keeps Jason close to her. Sophia calls her and says that today you will come to my room. I want to talk to you about something. After which, Sophia goes to her room and removes her clothes and puts a night dress on herself, and then puts fake headphones in her ears. When Jason comes, pretending to be unaware, she starts applying lotion on her body in front of him, and Jason also starts watching her secretly, and then before anyone sees him, he leaves from there. Jason could not sleep tonight because Sophia was in his mind. Jason starts imagining himself with his teacher. The next day was the last day of the week, where Joey and Jason were going back to their house for a couple of days. And here when Sarah comes to say goodbye to Jason, Sophia does not like this at all. Then Sophia tells Rebecca that her mother is ill, so she has to go to meet her, and Rebecca also agrees. At night, when Jason was telling his father that he wants to take a break from school for a year and focus on his music career, his father does not like this, and they both argue. Jason goes out and starts singing a song. Sophia comes to Jason's house and secretly watches Jason, and when he gets a call from Sarah, Sophia's mood gets spoiled and then her foot makes a sound, but before Jason can see her, Joe texts him and calls him inside. Sophia quickly comes back to her car and starts drinking alcohol when she gets an idea. After a few days, when all the children return from home, Sophia secretly goes to the girls' ward, where she goes to Sarah's room and keeps a cigarette inside one of her books. But when she is leaving from there, Rebecca sees her and Sophia makes some excuse. She was unaware that Joe was secretly listening to their conversation, and then Sophia abuses Rebecca from behind, and Joe hears that. Well, the next day when Sophia was teaching them, the cigarette kept by her comes out from Sarah's book, and when Rebecca comes to know about this, then she expels Sarah from school. Sophia believed that other children besides Sarah must be doing drugs. So she, along with Rebecca, starts checking all the children's rooms, where they find a bottle of alcohol in Jason's room, which Sophia had planted there some time ago. Rebecca wanted to expel him from school too, but Sophia says that they should give Jason a second chance, and as a punishment, Jason cannot go home this week, and he will have to stay in school and help her. Hearing this, Rebecca agrees, and this is what Sophia wanted. Then we see a flashback where Sophia's real name was Laura, and she first saw Jason online, where she became crazy about him. When she came to know that Jason's school is hiring a new teacher named Sophia, she killed the real Sophia and came here in her place. When Jason tells about the alcohol case to his sister, she says that she will also stay here with him so that she can keep an eye on him. Next day, when Jason was working in the garden, Sophia comes to him and helps him. While doing that, she started talking to him. while making an excuse of heat. She unbuttons her shirt and Jason starts getting horny. At night, Laura secretly comes to Jason's room and turns on recording on her phone and starts taking off her clothes. Then Jason wakes up and seeing this, Sophia quickly goes to him and starts kissing him and taking off her clothes. Jason tries to stop himself, but Laura seduces him, where Jason is unable to control himself, and they start getting intimate. The next morning, Jason was thinking in his room that what happened last night was not a dream, but reality. And when he was outside, Laura comes to him and tells him that no one should know what happened between us, where Jason agrees. But when Laura was caressing Jason's clothes in his room, Joey comes there and starts asking her many questions, where Laura made some excuse. Laura tells Joey that she got very low marks in this year's exam, but she wants to give her a second chance and asks Joe to come back to the class after school so that she can give a retest. After a while, Joe comes back to the class, where Laura had kept their next exam paper on the table, which Joe sees by mistake, and then Laura comes there. Seeing this, Laura takes Joe to Rebecca, where Joe was apologizing to her, but according to Laura, they should expel her. Rebecca sends Laura out and then tells Joe that I will not expel you because you are a good student. Hearing this, she takes a sigh of relief and then starts telling Rebecca about Laura that she seems suspicious. On the other hand, Jason comes to their church and while sitting in the confession chamber, starts confessing to their priest about what he did to Laura. And then he sees that his words were not being heard by the priest, but by Laura, who sits on his lap. And here, both of them start getting physical. Next day, a bishop comes to their school, where Rebecca comes to know that he knew the real Sophia. When Laura comes to know about this, she quickly wanted to leave from there. When Rebecca sees her, Laura makes an excuse that her mother is getting ill and she has to go. Rebecca also finds this thing very strange, and at the same time, Jason gets a message from Sarah, who was throwing a party tonight. When Jason and Joe come home, Jason fights with his father and leaves from there. Laura was watching all of this from outside. Jason goes to Sarah's house party. She tells Jason that her father will make some arrangements and get her admitted back to her school. Then she takes Jason to her room and starts having fun with him. But Laura was still on Jason's mind, so he stops Sarah and leaves from there. But on the way, a policeman stops him. He stops Jason because he was drinking on the road. But before he could arrest him, Laura comes there and convinces the officer and saves Jason. Meanwhile, his parents were worried about Jason, so his father goes out to find him. And Laura takes Jason to a hotel, and here she changes her clothes in front of him and wears a beautiful red dress, and then tells him that she has a lot of money, and she wanted to keep Jason with her, but Jason feels all this is wrong, so he leaves from there. And seeing this, Laura gets very angry. When Jason was sitting on a bench, his father comes to him and tells him that he can do whatever he wants with his career. I will not say anything to you, and Jason agrees. Next morning, when they were going back to school, Joe sees Sophia's car outside their house, and then when everyone was praying, Joe secretly takes Sophia's license plate number and gets all the information about her. On the other hand, Jason finds Laura in his room pretending to be dead, and when Jason threatens her to expose her, Laura threatens him back that if he does this, his life will be ruined. After this, when they were saying prayers in the class, Rebecca comes there with Sarah, who was readmitted there. Seeing this, Laura asks Jason to stay away from her, but Jason does not listen to her and sings a song for Sarah in front of everyone. Seeing this, Laura got crazy mad, and in anger, when Sarah was taking a bath, Laura kills her. The police think that Sarah died by slipping on the soap, but Joe and Jason cannot digest this. Next day, when Jason asks Laura about this incident, Laura shows him the video of both of them and tells him that you cannot tell this to anyone. At the end of this week, Laura lies to Rebecca that her mother died and she has to go to her funeral. And at night, when Jason's family was having dinner in a restaurant, Laura comes there and introduces herself to Jason's family. Jason doesn't like this, but his parents ask Laura to have dinner with them. While talking, Joe asks Laura some questions about the real Sophia, but Laura doesn't answer, and this turns Joe's doubt into certainty. Meanwhile, Rebecca also comes to know that Laura was lying about her mother. Here Jason tells Joey everything. Jason tells the truth and says that he has made a relationship with a nun, due to which he can be jailed. But Joey says that Laura is not a nun, and they can get proof of this from her laptop. Where the next day, when Rebecca calls Laura to her office, Joey and Jason quickly enter her room and take out all the secrets of Laura from her laptop. Rebecca confronts Laura about her reality, and because of this, Laura attacks her. And when Joey and Jason were searching for Rebecca, Laura comes to them. Then Joey tells Laura that they have proof of her crime. Laura attacks her. Jason tries to stop her, but Laura tries to kill him by pushing him. Luckily, Rebecca comes to their rescue and attacks Laura from behind. And finally, Jason kills Laura with a screwdriver. A few months after this incident, Joe and Jason had graduated, and Jason's father gifts him a guitar, with which much. The film ends here. So do let me know in the comments how you like this film. I will meet you in the next video.